Hey guys, welcome back to Homestead Prepping and Survival. Just a quick little video to show you what I do with my eggshells. So I have a lot of eggshells since I get so many eggs, and I save them, and then when they dry in a little container by the stove, I'll put them in a gallon Ziploc bag and crack them all up into little pieces like so, and then I mix it back in with their feed, because that's just adding calcium back to the chicken, which makes their shells a little bit better. Y'all know that older white hen in there, I've had a problem with her since I got her from my son-in-law and daughter, with her shells being really thin sometimes. And okay, it's down. And this helps with that. A lot of people will tell you to go buy some cracked oysters, crumbled oyster shells or whatever, and that's good. I mean, you can get the extra calcium that way that the chickens need, especially the hens, because they're laying the eggs. But why waste all the calcium that's in those eggs? Because they get it out of their food and, you know, all that stuff, and their body makes it. So sometimes they do need that little bit extra, and I don't do that on every time I feed, fill their feeders. Never shown y'all that before, but I do save all my eggshells, and I crumble them up. When I get a bag half full, 3/4 full, today's was packed completely full. So I will take those eggshells and dump it in there in the feed barrel, you know, a big chunk, and then I'll mix it around, then I'll pour some more feed from the other barrel on top. Excuse me. And then put more eggshells in there, and then more feed, and more eggshells, and mix it up. But you can sit there and watch the chickens eat, and that eggshell, they go after it. You know, they're going to grab that thing that looks different, and it's good for the hens to get that extra calcium. And otherwise, you could crumble it up and crush it and put it in your gardens. It helps with pests. A lot of the slugs and caterpillar type insects don't like that crushed eggshell because it's sharp on their body. So there's more uses for it than just feeding it back to your hens. But if you've got chickens, that is a good way to help keep their calcium levels up. And then I'm gonna pause right here and go inside and show y'all what I did with some of the eggs that I had extra. All right, so we're actually looking in my freezer, and I just finished doing this, so they're not frozen yet. But some quart freezer bags, I cracked about 4 dozen eggs into a bowl, mixed them well, and then poured them into these quart Ziploc bags and lay them down in the freezer and let them freeze. And those eggs will last you for years stored that way. And all you got to do is thaw them, and they're great for bacon or scrambled eggs or whatever it is that you want to use your eggs for. Of course, you can't do a fried sunny side up that way, but it's a good way to save your eggs when you're got plenty for when they're not laying very much. Just an idea. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Remember what I always tell you: Jesus loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared.